Welcome back, you guys, and thank you for joining us again. It's Wicked Raider 22. We're going to look at a couple of champions. A couple of champions that a lot of you guys will pull within your gameplay, and the question eventually becomes, who should stay, who should go? How do you decide which champions you're going to actually hold on to and progress them up to the 5 and even 6-star level? It's something that you're going to hear a lot of game players talk about on a regular basis. And I know for me personally, what I've had to really start to think about is how will these champions work together as we begin to build out teams? And here's an example. For example, so we have El Hain. This is one of our starting champions, and just looking at skills, because sometimes it comes down to what skills are available. This champion does have keen shot, so it does allow her to attack that one enemy. Of course, if there's a critical hit, that amount of damage is going to multiply itself. You have lightning arrow as well, another skill level that is so bookable and allows you to increase the critical rate percentage for this champion. You have Valley of Death, which allows her to attack all enemies 2 times. And of course, she's coming in with an aura. And I think about her as a champion when I'm comparing other champions like Sniper. Now, keep in mind, you're going from a rare attack champion to an uncommon attack champion. And I will tell you, in many cases, Sniper is a much better nuker, depending on how she has been booked, depending on what artifacts have been placed on her. And it also depends on who is used as a support for her particular team. Yes, she's only coming with 2 skills. Double shot is going to be one of these, allows her to attack one enemy 2 times. And rain of arrows gives her the ability to attack all enemies 2 times. Notice that rain of arrows is extremely similar to Valley of Death when you are attacking all enemies without the additions of buffs and debuffs. I think about it this way. Sniper is a champion. Actually, now I have pulled from shards as well. So if I have to go in and sacrifice a champion, I think about, where am I in campaign? Where are you in arena? Where are you overall in gameplay? Because several champions with overlapping skills will force you to make those harder choices. If not, you're going to end up with a collection of champions that are stuck at 5-star, 4-star, because everything above that 3-star level starts to consume so many resources that it's really difficult to figure out what you want to do. Here's another one to throw into the mix. We did El Hain. We compared her to Sniper, of course. And then you have someone like Zephyr Sniper. If you take a look at it, she is an uncommon. Of course, she is defense-based. So technically, it's a little easier to keep her alive. So she offers you suppressive fire, which attacks all enemies on that first skill level. And of course, she has the continuous heal that she can offer to allies, to all allies as well. A lot of people are going to look at her defensively because of this first attack. Now, can I go in and make a case for each of these champions? The answer is yes, depending on where I am. But what really makes the difference is, what other champions do I have that can support this particular champion? For example, if I have someone like Gear Grinder, if I have someone on my team like the Miscreated Monster, if I have War Priest, if I come in with Dur as an epic champion that I may have randomly pulled, it allows me to kind of think of my nuker a little bit differently. Because if you have a reviver or a really, really serious healer, you don't necessarily need everything else. You can go in and I will be able to book out this champion, focus on her defense, and make her the nuker that I would want her to be. Is she going to be much more productive in certain areas than others? The answer is yes. But if I'm looking for straight skill, I want all big numbers, then I may come back to Sniper. She's not hard to keep alive. She can definitely produce those numbers that we're looking for, depending on where she's located. For El Hain, I feel like El Hain, if she is among a strong enough team, can be a good champion. Now, does she do things better than Zephyr Sniper? Does she do some things better than Sniper herself? The answer is yes. But looking between these three, honestly, Sniper for me would win. So I have to start making choices based on what the team needs. Here's another one. A lot of people will pull Armiger. Armiger is one of those pretty accessible. You guys will notice I've kind of locked them in. I really want to dedicate myself on this particular account to working with them, kind of seeing how this particular champion works. If you have pulled Templar, for example, there's not always a need to have Armiger and Templar on the same team. There's not always a need to have Armiger, so we look at him. On this first attack, he's only attacking one enemy. What I liked about him most is he can decrease the turn meter by 30%. When I look at later rest, he still attacks only that one enemy, but if the enemy is killed, they cannot be revived. To me, he is an extremely kind of niche champion. If I am in certain dungeons and they're bringing their minions back and I don't want those minions to revive, he would be my go-to guy. But I'm also looking at the amount of damage that he produces, even though he is an uncommon defense champion. The ability of the attack will play a part because I don't want to have a slot that I've used for a support champion that's not putting out very much damage at all. Come in with an Armiger, for example, and then I have that next champion that's a little bit of a mixture. They are more of on that attack side than anywhere else, but they're not throwing out those huge numbers. I've now used up 3 of my 5 slots without making a big difference. But if I compare his role or Templar's role on a team to that of, for example, Shield Guard, who is another uncommon, who is defense based. Shield Guard can put up large numbers. He's going to decrease the speed of that enemy because all of his attacks are defense based. He has the ability to attack all enemies. And if you're putting him on a team with Sniper, with Elhain, those really make a difference. Kale is another one. Deliana is another one that comes to mind. Because if everyone is throwing out their second or third attack, they're all attacking all enemies. Even with Zephyr Sniper, the first attack is attacking all enemies. Like, think about it. You're able to do so much damage up front, especially when you were still early game. Where is your gameplay? And you guys will hear us go through it and kind of think about it methodically. Where is the gameplay? Here's something else. As I'm going through and I'm looking at support champions, because not all of your support champions are going to jump right out at you. For example, Miscreated Monster has been one of my absolute favorite epic monsters, epic champions, period. He is HP based. He comes to you with meaty fists, so he's attacking one enemy 2 times. Guys, this attack can hit. It can smack if it is booked appropriately. The ability of the stun can be helpful as well. When you look at Lightning Storm, he's already attacking all enemies. When you say it's alive, he's throwing out that ally protection and he's able to heal himself up to 50% of his max HP. When we're looking at passive with the groan, we're placing fear debuffs on an attacker for that one turn. It allows for that protective buff to be applied to your surrounding teammates. And then, of course, he's increasing HP in the arena by 33%. This is an all-around champion that makes a huge difference. But if I'm running something like tag team, for example, so you're getting to the point now where you're transitioning from going from level 35 to 40 to 45 for your overall account, you're going to start unlocking those other areas of the game. If he's on my team 1, who do I keep for support on team 2? And I'm looking at people, for example, who you may not think of in that manner. Like Werbenbane is another one. You're looking at Hobble Pierce, has the ability to come in to attack that one enemy, will decrease the speed of your enemy as well. She can come in and attack again with that one attack and has the ability to decrease the target's turn meter. The thing that's going to throw off this particular champion is it's only impacting one enemy. Curse Fire Spear is one of those unlockable abilities. And this is the reason why I kept her within my reign of champions, is because she has a 75% chance of placing an HP burn. And she was one of my first champions that was pulled that had access to that ability. thinking that you will successfully go from one level of Raid Shadow Legends to the next without learning the nuances of skills, of artifacts, and masteries. I'm going to caution you guys in the early game not to do it to yourself. It is also one of the reasons why many of us will start in one account and we will branch out and sometimes have 2 or 3 accounts. As you learn more, you do better, then it becomes a huge difference. When they're looking at abilities also, notice how many of our champions are HP based, whether they are void champions, whether they're coming in legendaries or rares or however it may come. But you may not know if you're not taking the time to look at that kit. So Healing Splatter is a wonderful example. Heals all allies by 15% of their max HP. And this heal can be increased up to a 35% moment. And you're looking at being able to take this down, guys, to a 3-turn cooldown. You can't beat that. On top of having an aura where you're helped with HP in faction crypts by 25%. Looking at Gear Grinder, it wouldn't jump out at me that he had that ability, but it's something for me to think about as I am building teams. So if I'm going into a difficult area, for example, Miscreated Monster and Gear Grinder may be my top 2 favorites. If I'm going in and I don't need as much support because I have Miscreated Monster on the team, I may come in and accommodate that team with a Zephyr Sniper because she's able to not only do a little bit of damage, but can also provide a bit of support. When you're looking at champions like Shield Guard, Armiger, the Executioner is another one that comes to mind. All of these are going to be champions that as you're placing them on your team, you're always thinking about value, coming down to value. Fencer is going to be another one recently pulled, just trying to figure out where she goes in the mix. Now, she's considered to be an attack champion, and of course, she's a rare champion, but she has Enchanted Rapier, so she's attacking that one enemy 2 times, of course, throwing out the decreased speed debuff. She has the Pummel Strike, still hitting one champion, has the ability to throw out the stun. And notice all of these ascended abilities, but the number of books that are required are something that puts her in a niche type of motion. Last, you're looking at, she finally attacks all enemies on this 3rd attack and has a 75% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. It's the 3rd attack that we're liking. It's the 2nd attack that can be promising, depending on who else is on your team. If you're able to stun, and this attack is followed up by Sniper and her rain of arrows, it will make all the difference in the world. The other thing is Spencer still comes in with the aura where she's helping you with attack in dungeons by 23%. So as I'm thinking about when we're going into different areas, if we're just farming and we're going through, this can decrease the speed of our champions to the point when we're thinking about time. So increase the amount of work they're getting done, decrease the amount of time it takes in order to get that done. Now, sometimes you're going to run into a couple of champions where honestly, you're not really sure where to put them. You're not sure where they're going to fit in. And I'm going to show you my champion that I'm kind of on the fence with currently is going to be Arcanist. She's one of those that has good abilities. We know about Paralyzing Touch. Still attacks that one enemy, has a 20% chance of placing a sleep debuff. It's not my favorite first attack, but I like the way she works with a team. Unnatural Recovery is another one, throwing out that continuous heal. This is one I cannot increase in percentage, though I wish you could, but you can add to that cooldown. So this skill can continuously be in motion for you. Vigor is going to be another one where she is placing that increased attack on all allies for 3 turns. And this can increase the critical rate as well as she's ascended. And then, of course, she comes with the aura on defense for Arena by 25%. I know for me, I have a few champions that I'm definitely using for Arena, but she would be one that would be great to rotate, especially when thinking about a tag team. So being able to lock different champions in for different purposes is one of the things that allows your gameplay to either speed up or slow down. It's normally going to slow you down because now you're trying to acquire resources for more of these champions than not. Think about it this way. I can take a look over here and I know that my 4 stars include Gear Grinder, Sniper. We have War Maiden. You're coming in with Werven Bane, and then we have Aethel. For some reason, Aethel's name always escapes me. You have Armiger. We are at Arcanist. You have Fencer, and then we have Zephyr Sniper. All of these guys are going to be 4 star. The problem is all of these guys are giving me something different. Now, honestly, I don't mind sacrificing Aethel at this point. It's not that she's a bad champion, but I feel like if I have Shield Guard, Aethel, and Armiger all together, their skills for me can kind of balance each other out, especially when I look at Shield Guard and Aethel. And you guys, please leave in the comments whether you agree or disagree. So when I'm coming in trying to decide who do I keep, at the end of the day, who will get me closest to the end game? Who can I travel through the game with? Who can I place in the most areas within the game as well? All of those are areas that we're looking at, we're thinking about, and we're focusing on, because that's where the true test of what you're working on is going to be. As you're eating through champions and you're keeping in mind some of these are fusible champions, you want to make sure you're going into your champions vault and you are locking away those champions that are fusible. As you can see, we've had a Templar. I actually had 2 for this particular account. I ended up sacrificing 1, honestly, because I knew that I had an additional copy because I hadn't fused them yet. You're going to pull some of these guys so often you don't mind using them as food because the likelihood of you pulling them again is pretty high. So how do you guys make decisions? How do you decide who to continue to build and who is worth sacrificing? Tell me, do you place champions in the vault for a little while before you discard them, or do you just choose to go ahead, consume, or discard them at that very moment? Do you have your base number of 4 champions, or are you thinking about spreading it out? Because right now, I'll be honest, I'm usually trying to get myself to a focus top 12 because this allows me to have 3 teams. It's because for me, I'm thinking of tag team. I enjoyed that in the arena area once we're able to unlock that area. But I know at this very moment, I'm thinking between Fencer and Arcanist and Werven Bane because they're all giving me the same energy. Zephyr Sniper is another one. I have to be willing to go in and sacrifice several of these champions if I plan on getting everyone at the top level to 60. And for me, I'm going to also use the thought of if I'm not willing to 6-star you, I'm probably not going to keep you at this part of the game. So let me know how you guys are making decisions, what those decisions are looking like, and how do you think it's going to impact your game? If you are currently in arena, if you are working through campaign or dungeons, let me know. How is it working for you? Have you been shocked by any champions? Have you been disappointed by any champions is the other one. We won't make this one any longer than necessary, but if you've made it this far, go ahead and subscribe. I am Wicked Raider 22. We're pumping out content for you guys Monday through Friday, dropping at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Would love to have you subscribe and follow along on the journey. You guys keep me posted, and I will talk to you soon.